us in Canada, which has been the norm for the last 2 years. We have conducted so many virtual sessions, and today it is absolutely with great delight that I welcome you all to the ICBC Annual Gala 2022 with the support of the High Commission of Canada in India and with their collaboration. So thank you everyone for being here. A very, very warm welcome to Minister Mary Ng. Minister, thank you so much for being here with us today. As I recall, Minister, in 2020 when we started lockdown and we started our virtual sessions, it is with you that we did our very first virtual sessions, which were trade and science person, official gathering. It is with your presence. So thank you very much for being here, and I hope that this is one of the many firsts that we will be collaborating with you in the India-Canada business. So once again, thank you. Yesterday, there was a very meaningful meeting between Minister Goyal and Minister Ng, which was the 5th India-Canada Ministerial Dialogue on Trade and Investment. And I am sure that all of you know social media works faster than anything else over here. I'm sure you know how successful it was. As Minister Goyal said, that this was a defining moment in the history of India-Canada relationship. It was an indication of the economic ties that are, that can only go up. There will be job creation in India and Canada, and above all, it is a sign that the countries are there for each other in moments of crisis. And I think that is one of the most important milestones. There were important things that were discussed, and of course, I think one of the main things was that the focus on a quick progress trade agreement, and in an effort to relaunch the CEPA, the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. There were a couple of important things that were discussed relating to the pulses, which is an important thing, market access for India to Canada, but I'm sure that the Minister will talk about all that in great detail later. What was remarkable though was the great bonhomie, the camaraderie, the positivity with which Minister Goyal and Minister Ng spoke. It was an inspiration for us, and we laud your efforts, both the ministers, in doing this, because this is going to make our task easier and going to be, it is motivating for us to see this. We assure you that the Chamber is here to support you and Minister Goyal in your efforts as we move forward. So thank you for that. And Minister Goyal would have been with us today, but he had a very important commitment because of which he could not come. But we are very pleased to welcome Ms. Rachna Shah, who is Additional Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, for coming here today. Rachna, welcome over here. Thank you. And let me also take this opportunity to welcome and introduce High Commissioner Designate for Canada to India, His Excellency Cameron McKay, or Mackay, if I want to be Scottish. So welcome, High Commissioner Designate, and thank you for letting me welcome you in your own house, because today I think, although you are going to be taking over officially in a few days, you've been kind enough to open your home to all of us. And I'm sure each one of you join me in welcoming you and wishing you a very successful tenure as we move forward. Also, let me welcome the Deputy High Commissioner, Ms. Amanda Strahan. She's been with us for a long time, but in her new role as Deputy High Commissioner. I'll just say hello to you, Minister for Seniors, which is a very important part of what we are going to hope to do with India and Canada. Welcome, Minister. There are two industry dons that I would like to acknowledge this evening. One is Mr. Hari Bhartiya, who is with Jubilant, or rather Jubilant Life Sciences and Jubilant Pharma. I just want to say that Jubilant was one of the torch bearers, because even when business did not have that momentum that it has now between India and Canada, Jubilant was there to show an example of what a successful Indian company in Canada can do. And thank you, Hari, for all your advice, because when I took on my role as CEO of ICBC, you were one of the first people I came to for advice. And you've always been there for me, for us, for the chamber. Thank you so much, Hari, for being with us. And let me welcome and introduce Mr. Pranav Adani. Adani is, I think, a household name. So, Pranav, thank you for taking the time to come here. And with you, it is that we are going to now see that the next time you're here, it is to announce business and have an Adani presence in Canada. So we look forward to both the business heads being with us today. I know that I should stop and let the others come, but I have to tell you a little bit about what our chamber has done in the last 2 years. There were 5 points, quick points that I want to mention. We kept communication channels open, one of the very important things. We had virtual sessions on sunrise sectors: agriculture, life sciences, healthcare, fintech. These were the sectors that were coming up, and we wanted to show these opportunities. We had dialogues with industry leaders, with influencers, to be able to point out what are the challenges and opportunities for business between India and Canada. We kept our members engaged, interested, and hopeful. That was very important. And we also got new members such as the Adani Group, Piramal Group, Mahindra Group, and the Godrej industry. All people whom we are privileged to have on board, and we hope that soon there will be even more business between them and Canada. We also, along with another important thing we did was the business-to-business contacts. We have over 150 business meetings between India and Canada. Some of them are successful, and we will be showing them on our website for all of you to see. But we have one success story right here, Pawan, a small business that we helped put together in Canada. And he always acknowledges us as a catalyst for small businesses, which is what we as a chamber have a responsibility to promote. So that was another thing. Along with the work and the business that we did, we also did a little bit, fulfill some of our responsibilities. ESG was an important sector that we focused on. Along with Anita, we put together 2 very good sessions, one with Dr. Anish Shah, President and CEO of Mahindra Group, and one with Dr. Mukund Rajan. We also had several roundtables on CSR. And I won't tell you, but we did initiate a fabulous questionnaire for corporates to be able to gauge that. We did very good roundtables. And gender parity, because I think that is something very important to Canada and very important to us. And my standing here in front of you, and Anita George, who is the president of ICBC and who will be also speaking shortly, are examples that there are women leaders in the chamber, and that the chamber has encouraged us. So, thank you. So, we have been able to achieve all this only because of a very strong, committed board of directors. Anita George is the president. She has not only been a dynamic leader for the chamber, but in her previous role as head of CDPQ, she has brought in dollars, FDI, more than I can count, Anita, into India. And you have been a part of devising a strategy for FDI into India. And I think that has been an incredible journey. We also have with us Rakesh Erar, our chairperson who's come from Bangalore, head of CGI, Sandeep Asthana, head of Sun Life Financials. Namrata has not been able to make it from Gujarat. Sandeep has come in from Mumbai. We have Arun Pandya. And when I say Arun Pandya, I have to mention Air Canada, which has been our support and partner for the 10 years that I've been here with ICBC, and I've been shown what connectivity, better connectivity between India and Canada with Air Canada. Rakesh Nangia is here, Rontu Basu, Imran Panju, who've flown in from Mumbai, Saurabh Bhatia. I wish I could name each and every person who's here, because each one of you is special. You all have been part of our journey and made us be, and that we are here today. I'll quickly welcome our new Consuls General of Canada, whom we are very privileged to have with us today, Mr. Patrick Herbert, Consul General in Chandigarh. Patrick. Ms. Deirdre Kelly, Consul General in Mumbai. She's wearing a fabulous color, so everyone can see her. Mr. Benoit Prefontaine, Consul General in Bengaluru. welcome to all of you. Look forward to working with you. I welcome the new provincial heads. We have Digvijay Mehra, Senior Economic Officer, Ontario International Trade and Investment. We have Victor Lee, Managing Director, Saskatchewan Trade and Investment Office. We also have Rochelle with us, Deputy Minister, who's travelled from Saskatchewan. Welcome, Rochelle. We have Ruma Bassi, Managing Director, Trade and Invest, British Columbia. And we have Francis Paradis, Director, Quebec Government Office in Mumbai. We also have New Opportunities New Brunswick, who could not be with us today, but we are representing them, and they're soon going to be starting operations in India. Our provincial heads are all ambassadors in their own way of their provinces. And thank you so much for reposing your trust in us. All the provinces have come in as our sponsors, and I really wish to thank all of you for your trust and confidence. And I must now, I can't not end without thanking our gold sponsors. They have been so much, I really would like to thank them. That is because of them that we have been able to put this together. So CGI, Sun Life Financial and HCL Technologies, thank you for your great support to us. Our silver sponsors, IBI and all the provinces whom I've just named. A heartfelt gratitude to our sponsors ICICI Bank and AMP India. It is your continued faith and confidence that encourages us to do what we do. When I talk about partners, I have to mention our partner chamber, the Canada-India Business Council, based out of Toronto. We are very happy to have Victor with us. Victor, thank you. Thank you for being with us, Victor, and we look forward to many collaborative events in the next year. My team, my backbone. I would really, like them, pleased to name them, and they can stand up, whoever's here, because without them, I could not have put this together. So Shivani Yadav, she's right here, so that in case I fall flat on my face, she can pick me up. Shavik, who's so busy and so tense between the gate and here that I don't know whether he can. Rashmi, who's out over there, Shavik is. Rashmi, who's at the gate. Olinda, who's come from Mumbai. Dev, who's come from Mumbai. And I think Pallavi, who could not come, but is still here with us in spirit. So thank you all, my team, for being here, and I will request that I will introduce them to you, Minister and High Commissioner, after the event. I would now like to play a recorded message from His Excellency Ajay Bisaria, the High Commissioner of India to Canada, dynamic diplomat, and he has done a lot for the India-Canada partnership, especially in times of COVID, where he really helped with getting the vaccinations there. May you please play Ajay Bisaria's.
Namaskar. I am delighted to join virtually this gala evening at Canada House on the occasion of the very important visit of Hon'ble Mary Ng, Minister for International Trade of Canada. Minister Ng's visit to India is very timely. It signals the end of the pandemic that has slowed us down in the last couple of years. It signals also the positive trajectory in which India-Canada relations are now moving. The visit is the fruit of a great deal of effort in the last couple of years. Minister Ng and Minister Goel have been interacting diligently, virtually, and also in person on the sidelines of international meets over the last 2 years. Their teams have been following up vigorously. The Trade Ministers' dialogue comes as a culmination of all these efforts. The growing trade and investment linkages between India and Canada form an important component of our multifaceted partnership. The bilateral trade figures for 2021 are remarkable. This trade level in goods of over 9 billion Canadian dollars came against the backdrop of a global economic slowdown due to the pandemic. But the potential we know is far greater and yet completely untapped. The headline of our bilateral economic partnership has, of course, been the tenfold increase in Canadian portfolio investment in India from $5 billion to over 65 billion Canadian dollars. We now move to the next level in terms of discussing a trade agreement. We are on the path to actually realizing the vast potential of our bilateral trade in goods and services. Let me congratulate the Indo-Canadian Business Chamber and of course the High Commission of Canada for organizing this gala. I'm sure this in-person event will open up significant opportunities for business folks on both sides to interact in person to achieve our common objectives. Thank you. Namaskar.
Bonsoir. What a lovely evening to have you all here. I'm truly honored to welcome you all here to Canada House tonight. A special thanks, of course, to Nadra Hamid, the CEO of ICBC, for organizing and hosting this special gala. Thank you. For more than 25 years, the ICBC has done stellar work to facilitate partnerships between Canada and India. So I'm very pleased to partner with Nadra and the ICBC at the gala reception tonight. The ICBC annual gala is an opportunity for the Indian and Canadian business communities to meet, network, and build even stronger links together. So it's our pleasure to welcome, I think, over 200 guests here tonight from the Indo-Canadian business community. Welcome. Among them, of course, are leading businesses from both countries, and Nadra mentioned, of course, the very important sponsors, business associations who are represented here, business leaders from all sectors, provinces from Canada are represented here tonight. Of course, our three new consuls general in Chandigarh, Mumbai, and Bengaluru. There's one more group of people I'd like to mention here tonight, led by Andrew Smith and Annabelle LaRouche, the Canadian Trade Commissioner Service. If I could have all the trade commissioners please just stand up briefly so people know who you are. We have almost 50 trade commissioners across India at 8 points of service, 8 cities across the country. Wherever you are in India, there is a trade commissioner nearby and they can help you do better business. So please do speak to them. But most of all, a very special welcome this evening to Canada's Trade Minister, Mary Ng, as our first Canadian minister, as the High Commissioner mentioned, to visit India since the pandemic began. So thank you, Minister Ng, for your efforts to advance the Canada-India bilateral trade and investment relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, it really is a privilege to have Minister Ng with us here tonight. For those of you who don't already know her, the Minister brings with her a rich experience in international trade and investment promotion. She was first elected as the Member of Parliament for Markham Thornhill in 2017. She previously served as Minister of Small Business and Export Promotion and as Minister of International Trade before assuming her current portfolio again in 2021. Minister Ng is a devoted community leader who has always believed in the power of public service. She has 20 years of experience in the areas of education, women's leadership, job creation, and entrepreneurship. She immigrated to Canada from Hong Kong with her family at the age of 7 and grew up facing the challenges and successes that many new Canadians face. Her years working for the Ontario Public Service, Ryerson University, and the Ontario Ministry of Education led her to being recognized as one of Canada's top performing public sector leaders. Since arriving in Delhi on Thursday night, she's met 5 of her Indian ministerial counterparts, along with many women and men, of course, leading their businesses to support the inclusive and sustainable growth and prosperity that both of our countries are seeking so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Honourable Minister, Mary Ng.
Cameron and I are a little different in height, so let me just do a little quick adjustment. Good evening, everyone. Bonjour, bonsoir. Thank you so very much for that wonderful introduction. And it is truly wonderful to be here in India and to be at Canada House this evening. It is such a joy because I am seeing all of you and we are all seeing each other. And I think I can probably say this quite accurately, the first time for many of us in person in a gathering like this. So how wonderful it is to be here in India. Let me thank His Excellency A.J. Basaria for those wonderful comments and the warm welcome, and for all of the work that our High Commissioner designate, who won't be designated in a few more days, in
in Cameron McKay and all the work that the team here has done and will continue to do. I've been saying to Cameron over the last couple of days, I'm here and I will do a piece of this work, but then I hand it over to you and as you heard him say, we have got a significant and wonderful presence here, a very strong presence in India by Team Canada and our Trade Commissioner Services in the 8 locations, helping to do one thing, helping our Canadian and Indian relationship and our businesses and our commercial and trade opportunities succeed. So thank you so much for your leadership and your future leadership. Let me also do a welcome. I know that Nadira has already said this, but it was with a wonderful surprise that my good friend and cabinet colleague in Minister Kamal Khera is here with us tonight. She's also the Member of Parliament for Brampton West. So Kamal, great to have you here tonight. Also with us tonight, which was a wonderful surprise as well, is another parliamentary colleague in Member of Parliament Rachel Harder, who represents Lethbridge, Alberta. She is also here tonight as well. So welcome to my parliamentary and cabinet colleagues for joining us tonight. And namaste, everybody. Good evening, and bonjour tout le monde. And it really is terrific to be back here in India. First time as trade minister, but certainly back here in India is a warm feeling. Now, let me also just say a couple of words before I get into my remarks about India. I want to just share just the context that we are all living in today and the profound concerns regarding the current circumstances that affect Ukraine. The Russian invasion of Ukraine is a grave threat to world peace. Canada unequivocally condemns Russia's egregious invasion, which is a direct challenge to the rules-based international order, and it cannot be allowed to succeed. Canada's Ukrainian community numbers more than 1.3 million people, and the current events in Eastern Europe are profoundly felt in homes and communities across Canada. So alongside our allies, Canada will stand resolute against authoritarianism, and we will stand with a democratic Ukraine now and into the future. Today and tonight, we are celebrating Canada and India's long-standing friendship to explore how we can create even more exciting new trade and investment opportunities that will benefit businesses and workers in both of our countries. I want to thank Nadira and the entire team at ICBC for the work that you are doing and for bringing us together. Look at this incredible audience that we have tonight, and of course, thank you to all of your board members and to your chair in Anita. And it's wonderful to be here in person, and I'm very inspired by the strong leadership that you and, dare I say, a women leadership team that you are bringing to build bridges between Canada and India. And I want to thank you for your significant contributions to fostering these ties and to continue to fostering even more ties between our two countries. And I do remember that time back in May of 2020. It was right at the beginning of the pandemic when the Chamber hosted a webinar, and you invited me. So thank you for that. And you invited me to a webinar on Canada-India trade. And we started right from then and didn't stop throughout this pandemic at exploring the ways that we can, in fact, keep growing and nurturing and building these bridges and these connections between Canada and India. And this is a really terrific example of how even during a pandemic and a crisis felt by so many, that your organization and indeed so many here, we didn't let that pandemic stop us from trading. We didn't let anything get in the way of building and nurturing this growing and increasingly important bilateral relationship. And as Canada's Minister for International Trade, it is my job to help Canadian entrepreneurs and businesses to, it is my job to help Canadian businesses and industries of all sizes, from coast to coast to coast, not only thrive, but enter and thrive on the global stage, including right here in India. COVID-19 has certainly presented incredible challenges to things like global supply chains and trade routes, but Canada's relationship with India continues to be strong and healthy and growing. And just before I left Canada, I led and launched a virtual trade mission to India for Canadian business owners who are led by Canadian women entrepreneurs. It was a first of its kind, I hope with many more to follow, and it was a collaboration between the Asia Pacific Foundation of Canada and the Canada-India Business Council. And of course, Victor is here. Thank you so much to you and to your leadership, and for all of the work that your businesses are doing. I also had a very productive meeting with business owners and leaders from the Indo-Canadian community before this trip, because it was really important for me to solicit their advice on how to build support and how to cultivate and look at the opportunities that Canadian businesses are looking towards here in terms of furthering their engagement with India. And certainly I want to thank all of them to help prepare me for this visit, and I look forward to continuing that engagement. We really do believe in the strong and growing relationship with India. We believe that it is this partnership, this mutual respect for international rules-based trading, for a strong recovery that is green, that is sustainable, and that indeed will help drive our economies and our industries towards a prosperous recovery from COVID-19. I can't think of a better time than right now to be able to continue to cultivate and develop those relationships. And as governments, we will do our part, but when I look around in this room, there is a lot of relationships that you are going to build, and I hope that we can help you do that building. Canada, I often get to brag, is the only G7 country that has a free trade agreement with every other G7 country. And it's connected to global markets through our many free trade agreements to countries that total 1.5 billion consumers with a combined GDP of US dollars, $52 trillion. These agreements and others that Canada would like to build on, including the one here with India, demonstrates our commitment to rules-based trade. And I think Canada is well positioned to become a preferred and a reliable commercial and technological partner for India. And I do believe, looking around this room, that we have a solid base to grow this relationship. The strength of this bilateral relationship is also grounded in what we already heard, strong people-to-people ties. Now, when I told Minister Goyal this yesterday, he was actually quite surprised. We have 1.4 million Canadians of Indian heritage, and Canada receives more foreign students and more foreign workers from India than any other country in the world. And it is precisely those relationships and the relationships that are in this room between the citizens of both of our countries that have not only planted the seeds of growth in this trading relationship, but it is these relationships that's going to even accelerate this incredible opportunity between Canada and India. In 2021, India was our 13th largest trading partner, and there is one way to go, up. We want to continue to grow in the way that we have. If you take a look at the last decade, two-way trade has increased by 71%. This positions India to be one of our fastest growing trading partners in the Indo-Pacific region. And I think it was Indra, you said a little earlier that the untold success story, which you also see here, is the Canada direct investment into India. It demonstrates the confidence that Canadians investors have and the potential that they see here in India. Canadian portfolio investments grew more than 50% between 2015 and 2020. And it now sits at an estimated $65 billion. And there is more and more to be doing. Canadian investors in India are interested in investing in infrastructure, in clean energy, in green growth, in high tech. That's just a few of the areas among many, many of the traditional sectors that already define our relationship between the two countries. What it also says is that Canadian investors are here for the long term. I'm also highly appreciative of the presence of India-based companies in Canada. There are over 102 firms operating across the country, employing tens of thousands of people, and I'm also looking forward to having that poised for growth from coast to coast to coast. So what does this really mean for both Indian and Canadian businesses and entrepreneurs looking to expand into each of our markets? For me, it is, as the Trade Minister, to work as hard as I can with my counterpart in Minister Goyal. And I know that Piyush really had wanted to be here tonight. I had a chance to have lunch with him today, so he and I have spent a lot of time together over the last less than 48 hours that I've been here in India. And I'm so thrilled that Rachna is here on his behalf because and I said this to Rachna earlier, and Jay Allen, who is also here as well, they're our chief negotiators. So we agreed yesterday through our ministerial trade and investment dialogue. We did a really terrific stock take about all of the areas where we are collaborating, and it was a great forum for us to also resolve issues. The issue of importance for the Canadian pulse industry was a really good example of how, by working together between Minister Goyal and myself, between India and Canada, where we can resolve issues, but we can also create the right conditions for businesses to do businesses, for investors to invest both ways. So as governments, our job is to work very hard for all of you, and to make sure that our businesses have the tools and the supports and the expertise that they have to succeed. Both Minister Goyal are practical people. We want to create those conditions and those opportunities on both sides to nurture and to grow and to cultivate this exciting opportunity. But it is also for us to have the right forums, like the Ministerial Trade and Investment Dialogue, to resolve issues. And of course, we have a terrific team led by our High Commissioner here, who will be that bridge to serve Canadian businesses and exporters who are here, and of course do the necessary work to facilitate what is necessary to help our businesses. So there are many industries, there are many opportunities between Canada and India where there are shared interests. Our entrepreneurs and our businesses have told us that. Yesterday I had the opportunity, as the High Commissioner said, it was the government day. I did ministerial trade and investment dialogue, and I met 5 of my ministerial colleagues on the India side. Today was a business day. Today I was able to meet women entrepreneurs, a couple of really terrific entrepreneurs who is on the Shopify platform, and they're taking their business and they're growing. Women-led businesses growing through e-commerce. And I've had an opportunity to meet businesses of all sizes, from the very small to those significant Canadian businesses and investors who are household names, and if they aren't, they're going to be household names here in India, but you certainly are seeing them in our gold and our silver sponsors, who are doing business here, so that I can hear directly from you about what those opportunities are, what you're excited about, and what you're excited about, I share. I'm excited about this as well, and how we can work together to build this economic partnership even stronger than it is. I recalled yesterday, as I was spending time with Minister Goyal and the Finance Minister, as well as the Minister responsible for Science and Technology, and what they shared with me about the startup ecosystem here in India, the 3rd largest in the world. And when you look at the unicorns whom I have met, who I had the opportunity to meet a couple of them last night, it really also demonstrates another area where we can really collaborate between India and Canada. I often I have a title that actually doesn't really fit on my business card. It's actually quite long, but if you read Braille, you can absolutely read it. But here's what it actually means. I mean, international trade, export promotions, small business, economic development. That is my official title. That is the mandate the Prime Minister has given to me. But I'll tell you what the job is. It's the Minister of Startup, Scale Up, and Access and Grow into International Markets, including right here in India. Because it is times like this where the way to ensure our success and to grow out of COVID-19 is looking outward and to expand trade. And I think that this is not something I have to convince this room. And it goes for those in the traditional sectors, but also those in the economy of the future. What I have had the particular pleasure of talking to my colleagues about here in India is the opportunity to tap into the incredible talent, the opportunity and the expertise on both sides. And it is not only looking at what the economy is of today, it is the economy and the future of Canada and the future of India. That is why I feel so positive and excited about this this new path, this new path forward that we are going to pursue. So while our negotiators are going to work very hard at a comprehensive economic partnership, so the CEPA, guess what they're going to do? They're going to work fast on a early progress agreement. This is something where Minister Goyal and I thought, look, let's do things the way that current Canada and current India are going to be doing, and let's have something to show for it, and let's do something pragmatic and quick, and that's what the early progress agreement is about. It's the first step towards a CEPA, and I think that this will just build the momentum that we all are excited for, and this really does recognize how important this relationship is and how we can take it towards a new future. And I thought what would be terrific is to share a little bit of an example of what I mean by that. Here in India, I know that field hockey is one of the great sports. I'm also told that Dian Chan is one of your great Indian field hockey players. Is that right? Did I get that right? Perfect. Yesterday, Minister Goyal, was putting me to shame because he was using all of these great Canadian examples of, Bryan Adams or Celine Dion or Keanu Reeves. So I thought, he isn't here, but you know what, Rashna, you're gonna have to tell him I'm trying to beat him to his game here. But here we are, Dian Chan. So in Canada, ice hockey is one of our national sports. And the greatest hockey player, the greatest Canadian hockey player is, our Dian Chan is Wayne Gretzky. And Wayne Gretzky used to attribute his success to the advice his father gave him. His father used to say, skate to where the puck is going to be and not where it has been. And that is what Canada and India must do. And looking around in this room, taking stock of the great meetings I had yesterday and the meetings I'm having today with business, I know that we are anticipating where our economies are going to go. We're going to build those pathways. We're going to create those successful partnerships, and we're going to move beyond the historical successes and build new successes. Simply put, we see opportunities for the future of India and the future of Canada. And I'm going to end by highlighting a couple of examples because I actually think it's really important to show what it's like in reality. So there are many more examples, but I'll highlight a couple. Look at Hydrogen in Motion. This is a Canadian-based company out of British Columbia, so the West Coast. It received funding and advice from the Trade Commissioner Service to develop a collaboration with an Indian hydrogen company to make electric three-wheeled rickshaws powered by hydrogen fuel cells. Imagine that. Now, I want to be one of the first riders on that hydrogen rickshaw. There we go. This is a green and innovative model for transportation. Or, and I know they're here tonight, Brookfield Asset Management. a Canadian company which has become the largest private investor here in India. Every day, more than 650,000 people across India, they go to work, they go to school, and they transport goods on roads that have been built because of the support through Brookfield. Indian businesses have taken advantage of these terrific opportunities to expand into Canada as well. A great company that I met earlier in the day, HCL Technologies, who are one of the sponsors. They're a leading global IT company, a consultancy that entered the Canadian market just in 2009. Again, with the help of the Canadian Trade Commissioner Service. You can see this theme here. Go to the Trade Commissioner Service, go to the Trade Commissioner Service. They're going to help you both ways. And they saw the benefit of the Canadian ecosystem, the talent, the consumers that they can access. They worked with Invest in Canada to grow their Canadian operations. They're a year ahead of schedule, creating over 2,000 jobs in Canada. Thank you, and I want you to do more. So here we are. Businesses are built on relationships. Those are a few examples. There are many, many more. But what this means is that the relationship and the trust between people is the foundation to which Canada and India and this relationship will flourish. So to the chamber members who put this fantastic dinner together in person, finally, I say this to you. The relationships that you are cultivating, the ideas that you are sharing, the leadership that you are showing represent the diversity of the thought and the talent that is crucial to this inclusive, sustainable growth that's going to help both of our economies be successful. I want to thank you, and I want to thank everyone that is here for everything that you're doing. And please know that the Canadian government and I are committed to helping you build on the incredible success that we already have, and we're going to chart for many, many more. Merci beaucoup. Namaste. Thank you.
Okay.
I have the wonderful job of being able to say thank you for that great speech, Ms. Ng. We can see and hear and feel that it's heartfelt and true. I also want to thank Minister Kara, the High Commissioner Designate. Thank you so much. You have been a big supporter of ICBC. I would like to thank also all our members, board members, as well as businesses who've been here. And Nadira also already mentioned a lot of what happened during this uncertain times of pandemic, as well as during the recent upsets, geopolitical shifts. But one thing that has been constant is the relationship and the leadership between businesses in India and in Canada. And these are businesses of all sizes, well-established ones like Jubilant and Tech Mahindra, as well as a lot of interactions between educational institutions, universities, as well as startups. So, Minister Ng, I want to share with you that with IIT Kanpur, we have a health tech corridor that we are working on with Canada, as well as ICBC has just launched a startup collaboration and platform to bring in all the young, so you mentioned the future, so all the young entrepreneurs as well as students and others who are interested. And I would say also when we think of that number of 65 billion, so till very recently I was working with Caisse des Dépôts et Placements du Québec, and I always thought that behind that number there are a large number of businesses, many of whom are here, but there's also the savings of ordinary Canadians. So when you look at all the pension funds and insurance companies that have invested in Indian infrastructure, Indian startups, Indian companies and sectors across the board, it's also the individual savings that are being invested here. And we thank you and everybody there for that.
Fresh winds of hope and optimism. We are very much looking forward to working together. Last 2 years have been a challenge, as everybody said, but today is a day of celebration and we are looking forward to it. I just want to say thank you to Andrew Smith, Minister Commercial Trade, High Commissioner of Canada. Last 2 years he has stood the ground here and helped us every inch of the way. Thank you, Andrew, for all that you've done with us. So with that, let's now enjoy ourselves, celebrate, and show that we are back in business. All the best. Have a wonderful evening.